Hey, Rhonda Rosand here, CPA and Advanced Certified QuickBooks ProAdvisor with new business directions. Today I have a short video on how to set a closing date password in your QuickBooks file. You are looking at a sample manufacturing company in Intuit QuickBooks Enterprise Solutions Accountant version. This is the most recent version. It has been updated fully. And let's start with why you want to set a closing date password. The answer is because you need to protect the integrity of your data. If you are going to give your numbers to a tax preparer, an accountant, or an auditor, you need to prevent any changes from happening to the data after you give them a backup of the file so that they can do their job. We want to lock it down so that mistakes aren't made by changing dates or changing amounts in information that has already been shared. When do you want to do this? Well, you can do it at year end, which is the ideal time to do it when you send off the information, or you could even do it quarterly. So if you're a nonprofit and you issue reports to your finance committee or your board of directors quarterly, you want to lock that down after you do so that you're not changing the data that they are looking at. The administrative user is the user who usually has to do this because it is a company preference, and you can go in through preferences or you can go into company and down to set closing date, and in here on the accounting preferences on the company preferences tab down here we set the closing date. This is showing November 12th of 2029, which is a while from now, but this is a sample file, so its dates are different. I'm going to click on Set Date and Password. I always exclude the sales orders, the estimates, and the purchase orders. Those are non-posting transactions. They don't affect your financial numbers. So we exclude them so that you can still make changes to those or date those differently before the closing date. I set a closing date password, and because I'm a bit of a wiseacre, I set the closing date password as $500. That's what your accountant or your tax preparer is probably going to charge you if you change anything on the reports they already have. So that is how you do this in the preferences to set the closing date and the password. And once that is set, I don't need an admin password in a sample file. You just click OK, and that has taken effect. Now, what does it look like? If I'm going to go in here and I'm going to write a check, and I want to write a check dated before the closing date of November, so I'll make it October 31st of 2029, and I'm going to send it to White's Public Relations for $10, and I'm going to post it to advertising expense. Now, when I click Save and Close, it comes up and it says, hey, this is before the closing date. Do you want to do this or not? And if you don't want to do it, don't put the password in, click Cancel and get out of here. But if you do want to do it and your tax preparer is okay with you doing this, then go ahead and type in that closing date password and click yes and okay, and it has been done. Now, as accountants, we have a couple of extra reports in the accountant version of the software that we can look at to see who's the closing date to make a change. That would be under Reports, under Accountant and Taxes, and you have an option here. You can look at the audit trail. The audit trail will tell you who did what when in the file for all dates of all eternity, or you can look at the closing date exception report, which will tell you who made a change that affected a prior period that has been closed down and locked down, and a password had to be used. So you can see here that these transactions were made on this date by the administrative user, and what happened was the date changed on this transaction for $56. What's in bold is what changed. So you can see the closing date exception report. Again, you do it to protect the integrity of your data, locking things down. You do it through the preferences. It's an admin preference on the company preferences tab. You can use the password if you are confident that that change should have taken place, and you can look at the reports to see if a change took place and wasn't authorized. If you have any questions about QuickBooks or need assistance, please reach out. Start with our website at newbusinessdirections.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our blog. Send us an email if you need help organizing your chaos or streamlining the process. It's okay. We can help.